Benvenuti al primo evento interamente digitale di Pentax. La pandemia ci ha reso difficili le relazioni interpersonali in questo periodo, per cui dobbiamo pensare ad implementare nuove strade per coltivare uno dei punti fondamentali in Pentax, il rapporto con i nostri clienti. Abbiamo pensato a questa fiera digitale per tornare a essere vicino a voi e per presentarvi le nostre novità. Non smetteremo di lavorare a nuove strade per essere sempre più efficienti e vicini al mercato. Sono sicuri potrete apprezzare ciò che abbiamo presentato. Buon lavoro a tutti.
La pandemia ha cercato di fermare il mondo e quasi ci riusciva. In questi anni difficili veramente l'unica possibilità che abbiamo è di credere in quello che abbiamo sempre fatto e soprattutto di continuare a investire. Questo Pentax è quello che sta facendo, quello che state vedendo sono i nuovi 15.000 metri quadri dove verranno preparate le nuove linee di montaggio, nuovi sviluppi sulle nuove pompe e soprattutto nuove tecnologie. Tutto questo per dare un servizio ancora migliore a voi che siete i nostri distributori, i nostri clienti, i nostri partner da tantissimi anni, perché crediamo in voi come abbiamo sempre creduto e sappiamo che voi continuerete a credere in noi, investendo anche voi le vostre possibilità, perché nei momenti difficili che si riuscirà a fare la differenza che verrà ripagata nel futuro. Lo so che le parole servono a poco, ci vogliono i fatti. Per questo abbiamo deciso di fare anche questa fiera Digital Pentax, che sarà una fiera immaginaria online dove tutti verrete collegati, dove presenteremo delle nuove pompe, ma soprattutto dove ci sarà un tentativo, perché possiamo definirlo solo così, di avere di nuovo le possibilità che avevamo prima con i viaggi di incontrarci. Speriamo che a breve questa possibilità torni, perché noi abbiamo bisogno di avere il contatto con i nostri clienti, con i nostri distributori, con i nostri area manager. Ma in questo momento potremo presentare le nuove pompe, le nuove offerte che vi verranno fatte per creare un gap tra noi e la concorrenza. Siamo sicuri che questo sarà un motivo e un argomento importante per riuscire a ottenere dei risultati ottimi, se non eccezionali, in un momento veramente difficile. Grazie a tutti.
Hello and welcome to the second part of our Digital Expo. It's nice to see that even today, many of our friends have joined us. During the first part, we concentrated on the domestic and residential sectors, introducing the plug-and-play, energy-saving, smart electronic booster system Aquadomus, the DTR sewage pump with grinder, and the new line of stainless steel flanged centrifugal pumps. Today, we will focus on the industrial segment, outlining the great potential that our range can grant. We will show you some case histories of our pumps and introduce the new line of split case and borehole pumps. Even today, you can send us your questions through the chat line you find in this platform. I leave you now with Gianpaolo, our product manager for the industrial range.
Thank you, Pierpaolo. Thank you for introducing. And good morning to everybody. Actually, even good afternoon, because we know that in connection today with us, there are people coming from Middle East, East Europe. Isn't true, Pierpaolo?
Far All over the world.
So, good afternoon and good morning to everybody. And thank you for your interest on products, on our products, and on our brands. Let me draw your attention on the company mission. First of all, Pentax Scene Server is committed to deliver to our partners, to our distributor and clients, superior solutions, new extended range, new features, reliable, more reliable pumps, and so on. And these help us, both sides, network and Pentax, to generate additional business opportunity, to reinforce our market positions versus competitors. And this, let me say, will be the motive life of today's presentations, because I'm going to start presenting you some existing line, but again, focusing on news, focusing on new sizes of pump, new features, new extensions of the same products. So in order to transfer you the message, we are working day by day in order to improve our positioning. We will then end with some very interesting case history of the existing products. And in the end, last but not least, we will present you, actually today is the official launch of two new product lines for Pentax, Foras, and Marley, which are the new split case products, very, very known and demand in the professional market, and as well the new Boreal line. So let's start with the end section, the so-called standardized pump, the EN733 products. This is a very popular pump in the market, known since very long. I mean, it's one of the most classic execution in the market. And in the market, this pump is known in three different executions: the close couple, which is the more compact, the lighter one; the stub shaft, which is the medium size for medium power motor size; and finally we have the frame mounted, which is the heaviest, the more capable in terms of performance, in terms of executions, and so on. Pentax is offering today all of them. So let's look on the close couple, which is, as I said, the lighter of the three executions, where you can see in the drawing, beside to the picture, that we have this blue element. It is the common shaft. The shaft is in common with the motor and the pump. So that's why the motor, which is Pentax one according to European efficiency class E3, has special extensions in order to hold the impeller, and therefore you have a very compact design. In the same time, you have some limitations on mechanic structure. So these executions can handle up to maximum something like 37 kilo motor size. Then we have, let me say, the medium-sized structure, so the so-called stub shaft executions. And there we have, as you can see in the drawing, standard motor extensions with the standard flange, B35 flange. So this has a feature that you can locally source the motor in case of servicing. Then you can retrofit the motor according to your needs. So you don't need a special motor or a special shaft. And then you can see again in the picture the blue element, the blue parts. This is the shaft that will enter into the pump, and this is the stainless steel extension as well. With this execution, we are able to cover up to 90 kilowatt motor size. Additional feature on this execution is that we can offer to you full 316 stainless steel pump. So this execution can be suitable for some light application, light industrial applications on the market. And then we have the frame mounted. The frame mounted, as you can see in the drawing, we have independent shaft. The blue parts is the shaft of the pump. And there, of course, the shaft is supported by a bearing bracket very heavily. And after that, we can couple the flexible coupling, B3 execution motor, and everything fixed on the common base. This is the more versatile products because you can have a cast iron, 316, and duplex material available. So really, these executions is suitable for, let's say, from a residential market up to the more sophisticated and more heavy-duty industrial application. So it's the more vast pump that can meet all the market demand, let's say. Let's now talk about some coverage, some performance informations. So this is our coverage for the high-speed pump or high-speed execution, so-called. So the C can be CM, MC, as well as CA. So we can have a maximum flow of about 300, 360 cubic meters per hour. And according to execution, we have a 37 or 90 kilowatt motor installed. You may notice that we have in highlight in different blue color the new extension of CMZ that has been introduced recently, and those are the stub shaft execution that I was mentioning before. Finally, we have the low speed coverage range, and this is the more vast flow of range. In fact, we can reach with the new introduced model up to 1,600 cubic meters per hour. So now we are really having a vast and a wide range of flow. Pressure-wise, we are about 15 bars because of the speed is very low. We are talking about 1,500 RPM, and the maximum power installed 200 kilowatts. This is a B3 executions motor. Let's have a quick look about the application. Application is quite known. The classic application is water transfer, potable water, water distributions, which is the more common application in the market. Of course, agriculture and irrigation is one of the historical applications for this pump. But then we can have, let's say, some new application like water boosting, which is the typical sets of automatic booster set that normally are installed for feeding towers, building, high-grade buildings, and this is coming more and more frequent and more suitable for this kind of construction market. And finally, we have some, let's say, industrial application thanks to the duplex and stainless steel material available. So we are talking about seawater, reverse osmosis, and any water treatment plant. Let me now present you the S.p.A line. It is a pump that I have in front of me. This is one executions available, which is the axial executions. So we call them S.p.A executions. Why S.p.A or axial execution? Because the inlet is exactly on the axial position, so in the front position of the impeller. What is the feature? What is the advantage to have these positions of the flange is, let's say, two main reasons. That in this case, we have a very nice suctions capability because the piping just enter in the first impeller of the pump. So we can reduce, let me say, the NAPSH characteristic sensibly, much more than a standard pump. The other execution is the radial one, the S.p.A, which has both flanges, delivery and suctions on the radial positions. And these executions, of course, will have double bearing housing, and these allow to have much more stages than the axial version, because we have a double bearing housing which can hold in the position the shaft, even if we have many stages, and additionally we have a very high axial thrust. What else? Another important point is that this range is quite a big range of families, because we start from size 32 of delivery, and then we end up to 10-inch, so 250 millimeter of delivery. So just to give you an idea, this is not the biggest pump, but we have additionally a bigger brother than this size. This pump has all our product line, is available in 3 different materials, cast iron, 316, and duplex. And this is actually our philosophy. We adopted this kind of material available in our catalog. So in our catalog as well, in our price list, you will see these 3 options of material. Because we learned from our experience that with these 3 options, actually you can cover 95% of the market demand, starting from the really very light domestic application up to the very sophisticated and heavy-duty industrial application. So with only 3 options, we cover everything practically. Few words over the features. I will not bore you with a lot of technical characteristic, data, performance, and so on, but I would like to spend few words only on 3-4 points. This pump is available with double mechanical seal system, and this is the case. In fact, you see this piping entering on the bearing bracket in one side and going out on the other side. That is the cooling system of the double mechanical seal. So in this, thanks to this system, we are flooding the seals with the clean liquid, cold liquid, so that in case here we have very hot, very aggressive, and very dirty liquid, mechanical seal will not see these heavy fluids, but they will, the sealing phase, they will work only with the clean liquids, which is rotating in this piping. Second feature is what I already mentioned to you, the front suction. Front suctions gives you great capability on suctions performance. So we can reduce sensibly the NAPSH. So in case I have very super hot liquids, 150, 180, I have the possibility to reduce the impact in the suction, so not to have any cavitation effect on this area. Finally, we have also a cooling fan. It is the picture that on your video that you can see number 3 and a drawing number 4. This is a cooling fan that is providing a flow of air on the bearing bracket, oil bearing bracket, in order that will keep cool down the oil. To give you few data about this, standard bearings can run up to 100, 110 degrees C. With this cooling fan, we can have our bearing working very comfortably, maximum up to 60 degrees. So you can realize how long we enlarge the life of these bearings. Altogether makes this pump reliable, comfortable, having comfortable running with the heavy-duty application, meaning 180 degrees, aggressive liquid, high pressure. This pump is 100 bar pressure products. Coverage, I already mentioned before, is very wide coverage. We can reach up to over 1,000 km per hour flow, 100 bars. Maximum power installed in the motor can be above 1,600 kilowatts. Eventually, we can have also diesel engine application in some special or specific request. Few words about application. Application, of course, for these versatile products, the application list is huge, is very long. But let me say, of course, we can start from water distribution from municipality, potable water, because of the high pressure whenever you need to transfer water from level to level. But again, this pump merit to be installed in these very heavy-duty application like HVAC sector, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, where because of because of the hot liquids. That is very reliable on hot liquid, and with some chemical elements on the liquid like glycols. Okay. Geothermal is another successful application for this pump. We have a long story in a geothermal district located in Tuscany, Lardarello, where we are cooperating with the Italian national energy company Enel since about 30 years. And they are very happy about our reliability that we provide to this system. The reason of mentioning this application is that application is very heavy. Why? Because you combine hot liquid with the aggressivity of the liquid. The geothermal liquid, water or steam, normally is medium salty, so has a concentration of salt in between 15,000 ppm of salt, which, just to give you an idea, the seawater is about 20. So we combine hot liquid, high pressure, and aggressivity, which is the worst scenarios for a pump. Oil and petrochemical is another application because, of course, we have chemicals, we have steam applications, and of course, this is another ideal solution for these products. Marine pumping system because of seawater. Seawater requires duplex. There is no other solution for seawater, especially on the very Mediterranean area, close by Mediterranean area. Reverse osmosis, also another successful application. Why reverse osmosis? Because we combine seawater with high pressure. Reverse osmosis, in order to feed the osmotic membranes, need to have a very, very high pressure. We are talking about above 17 bars. 70, so 700 meter pressure. Ultra purification, boiler feeding. Boiler feeding actually is a huge market. You may, when you listen boiler feed application, you may think always only about power station. No, it's not only this. Boiler feeding is in all our common food industry, dairy industry, textile industry, soft drink industry, distillery. This is a boiler feeding. So you can realize how many potential new application we can get with this pump, but also with the new entry in the suction that you presented yesterday, Pierpaolo, with the CMS.
CMS range, yes.
That is so interesting on the boiler, on the food industry, because it is a fabricated stainless steel pump, smooth surface, and can be very easily cleaned and washed. Let me now enter into some successful story of this pump, the so-called case history. what is the first one? The first successful story of this plant that I wanted to transfer to you today is located in South America, Latin America, Chile. So here we are on north part of the country, close to the border of Bolivia. We are in the first geothermal power station of this area of the Latin America. And this power plant has been built by GDN. GDN is a company, a partnership company made by 85% of Enel, Italian energy company, and the rest is in the end of a local, a national company of energy. And this is located at 4,005 meter altitude, so it's a very extreme position. Think about that the temperature on these locations ranged from -35 to +35, 70 degrees delta temperature. And our pump are working on outdoor. Think about that the pump and motor need to stand on this delta temperature, which is a very, I believe around the world, very rarely you have 70 degrees delta temperature in between winter to summer.
Apart from the temperature, there is even the altitude, which is very much effective.
No.
Sorry, Gianpaolo.
Please.
How many pumps have you installed in this plant?
Thank you for the question, very nice question. Enel decided to deliver this project to Pentax. Why, first of all? Because we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are cooperating with Enel since 30 years in Lardarello district, and they have a great opinion of us thanks to the reliability of our solutions. And once they face this project is quite new. This plant has been built about 5 years ago. It is in operation since about 3 years, 2 years and a half. And after the starting up of the plant, they face tremendous problems with the feeding pump for the system. Problem on sealing, problem on performance, and wearing of the wearing parts. So they call us and say, look, we have to substitute those pumps. So these pumps were facing problems. And we were able to overcome the problems with this solution.
Right. So they asked you to find a solution to a problem that they had.
Exactly. So in reality, we customized the our standard proto with a special material. To give you just the data, in the suction area, we have the bearing, bush bearing body. In order to make resistant this bush bearing, we treat the slide faces with stellite material, which is a very hot surface, very hard material, which is, let's say, welded on the surface, which is used on the turbines, just to give you an example. So we design for them this device. We design for them even the cartridge mechanical seals. And of course, we design also an API system for cooling of the mechanical seal. So this was a very nice case. We supplied them 14 units. 8 of them are working since about 1 year. Other 4 is going to be installed on the expanded area of the power plant, and other 2 are going to be used as a spare. But what is important that we overcome to the problem that the pump of our competitor were facing.
Thank you.
Thank you to you, Pierpaolo. A few data about this installation, then we move on forward. Pumping the liquid is brine, 165 degrees C. Salty content is about 30,000 ppm of salty, of chlorides, actually. So meaning that we are very close to the seawater aggressivity. Sand content. Here we are having a sand content of above 100 grams per cubic, so it was a very thin sand, providing to the blades of impeller, blades of diffuser, very, very abrasive effect to the parts. So providing then a very, very low speed pump. This is a 6-pole pump, so less than 1,000 RPM speed. A very sophisticated sealing area with double Cardiff seal, cooled by glycol, pressurized by azote gas. We practically overcome to these solutions. Let's talk now about a second successful story. Now we move back to Europe. So here we are in north of Europe, actually on city called Andic, and here we did an installation on Agriport A7. That is the one of the biggest greenhouse in Holland. Think about that the extensions of this area is about 750 hectares. Another data to give you the magnitude of this area is that there they produce more than 20% of tomato consumed by the country, just in this area. What we did here, again, geothermal application. Why? Because the government of this state is financing the private company to more and more use green energy, so to get low impact to the ambient through the avoiding the oil, avoiding the heating of gas and so on. So on this application, see the drawing, the yellow drawing. What we did there, we did the re-injection. So after the full process of heating, they use our pump to re-inject the condensate water inside the ground. Why to re-inject? Why you need the high pressure? You need the high pressure because the production well of the steam are under pressure. So just to give you an idea, to re-inject the water back down, we need about, this pump was running at 55 bars in order to win the pressure of the well and to be able to push down the liquid that was sucked by production well. You see the photo there in the screen. We used there an ABB motor, 800 kilowatt size, medium voltage, 6,000 voltage, with an ABB inverter because they need to grant stable pressure on the well, otherwise they get problem down ground.
Since how long is this pump operating?
Yeah, well, we installed this pump about 3 years ago. And well, that is also a nice question. Why? Because since that time, this pump is still working. No any major servicing has been required. Only what we put on our installation manual is the oil changing. I mean, since this pump is working 24 hours per day, 360 days per year, you need, in this continuous operation, you need to change the oil minimum every 6 months. Don't forget it, because that's, think about it, it's like that you keep your car working full day. So you really need to have the oil change constantly.
So it's a pump that is a 24-hour duty, 365 days. Only it stops to be for maintenance, let's say.
For oil change.
For oil change. Okay.
So that's it. So please keep in mind that whenever you have oil bearing is one of the more efficient lubrication because has a good lubricating property, combining that is able to evacuate the heat from the bearing area. So this is the good point of the oil lubrication.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, let's switch now to the other key product line for us, which is the vertical turbine. Here we have a sample. Actually, this is the big brother. Our range starts from 6-inch size up to 22-inch size, meaning that this diameter in this sample is 22 inches, so 600 millimeter diameter of the stage. This is also an important range for us. Also, again, our philosophy is to have 3 materials available, so from cast iron, 316 duplex. So thanks to this material availability, you can install this pump on standard potable water up to the very chemical or seawater application thanks to duplex material. No other data, don't want to bother you with, again, with a lot of information, but few features. Our standard executions used the conic coupling. That is in your picture. You read the drawing number 2. Why conic coupling we use? The conic coupling is the device which connects shaft to shaft. So from the pump to the line shaft to the drive head. Any connection needs to be coupled. If we use conic coupling, we put in the perfect axial position the shaft. So we do not have vibration due to the non-proper position of the shaft. Moreover, in case of servicing, we can dismantle easily by these 2 rings, the blue rings, the 2 elements, and even after many years of operation, you can get your shaft open, so you don't need to cut or to get a lot of difficult operation to open the pump, disassemble and reassemble. Other option is the mechanical seals, which is located on this area. We could have a Glen packing, single seals, cartridge, or double mechanical seal in case of very aggressive liquid. Last but not least, in the same drive head, we have the thrust bearing. Thrust bearing can be provided with oil or grease lubrication. Special executions available. You can see on the drawing, we can have hollow shaft motor, very common on North America, where the thrust bearing is located inside the motor. The gearbox is the central execution when you need to couple the diesel engine motor, and that is very common on rural area, in the agricultural irrigation area where the electricity is not available. And finally, we have the barrel, is the last on the right-hand drawing. Barrel is inline, pressurized tank, and this is typical for boosting, firefighting, or even condensate. Coverage, as I mentioned before, we have a very large flow of performance. We go up to 1,600 cubic. Maximum pressure 26 bar, and again, installed motor there can be 630 kilowatt, but eventually if you combine with the diesel engine gearbox, this power can be increased sensibly. Applications. Well, if historically that line was practically developed for deep well, whenever the boreal pump were not available, so we are talking about 20, 30 years ago, this was the only solution. So this was the surface part, and all the rest was immersed in the well. So this was the only case. Now, the boreal solution is much more convenient, efficient, less expensive, and this execution is not anymore used or less used in this application. It's moving into more industrial applications, so in tank. So in the top of the tank you have the drive head, and on the bottom you have the hydraulic parts. Why in the tank? Because in case of hot liquid, aggressive liquid, you have the hydraulic parts in the contact with the liquid, but you keep the motor on safe area, non-hazardous area. So the motor can be standard. So that is the great advantage of the vertical turbine. Water distribution, power plants. Power plant, why? Because we have a stainless steel, and with a vertical turbine, you don't have a problem on NAPSH because your pump is immersed on the liquid. So power plant for condensate is idle. Pivot irrigations, we go back to historical applications, agriculture, large plants. Reverse osmosis water treatment because of the stainless steel. Let me now give you some other successful story of this pump. We move back to Italy now, and we are in the center of Italy on the Adriatic Sea, and we install a small brother of this sample in the so-called Porto Corsini power station. That is a very giant Enel power station of turbo gas, so is powered by gas. The size of this power plant is 700 megawatts. Think about that. We were talking about Cerro Pabellón in Chile, which was 81 megawatts. This size is 700, just to give you the magnitude of the plant. And in this plant, they ask us to provide the firefighting units. So we install, look about the drawing that is there, where is shown the location of the pump. This location is directly on the sea channel. So practically the pump is sucking sea water. That's why the pump was made completely of stainless steel 316. With one unique pump, we were able to provide the extinguish system, so the firefighting system of the full power plants. So the pump is providing 550 cubic meter per hour flow. The application is quite hard. Why? Because of the medium. Medium is the seawater, but moreover, the pump is kept running once per week, few hours, because they need to grant that in case of needs, the system is operative. So this pump is running with the seawater at a shut-off pressure for a few hours. That's why is a quite, let's say, heavy-duty application, I would say.
Which lubrication is better for the truss bearing?
Nice question, nice question. Well, in this case, we provide oil lubrications in the truss bearing on top on the drive head. I would say that the most professional lubrication for any bearings, roller or ball bearing, is oil. Why? Because oil lubrications, rather than to be able to prevent, to lubricate efficiently the rotating parts, is also evacuating the heat produced by rotating parts. So provide two different effects to the bearing. So double positive effect. Compared to the grease lubrication, we had a disadvantage, let me say disadvantage, that regularly you need to change the oil. Okay, so according to the type of service, intermediate or continuous, you need regularly to change the oil.
So it needs more maintenance.
Bravo. On the other side, on the other hand, grease lubrications normally is provided with a sealed type of bearing, so it's so-called life lubricated. So whenever you install this bearing, you let the pump running up to the end of the life, 2, 3 years, 10 years, and whenever you face some problem, you take the bearing out and you replace. So it's more practical, let me say, the grease lubrication. Let's move on another case story of for this pump, for this family, and then we move back to Holland again. We are in Haarlem City, so again on the northeast of Holland, and here we are in the very big AkzoNobel chemical district, which has been reconverted, so has got an efficiency reconversions made by Veolia company, which is a very big company in the green and efficiency reconversions. And they were looking for solutions in order to reduce the consumption of the chiller pump. So in this project, what we did, we replaced an existing pump on which there was installed a 315 kilowatt motor size. And by doing the same job, so delivering the same flow and the same pressure, we were able to use a much smaller motor, 250 kilowatt motor. So imagine the energy saving that we provide to this system.
For this pump, do you supply even the foundation plate?
Not in this, actually, but because there was the existing foundation plate, so we just care to get the connection holes and bolts to be suitable for the existing foundation plate. But in case of needs, yes, we can provide you the foundation plates, which is very recommended on this application because the foundation plates that we provide has adjusting bolts in order that you can put on the proper horizontal position these plates in order that the pump that is coming after will be positioned, placed perfectly in the vertical position, so not to have any, let's say, misalignment of the vertical shaft, let's say.
Thank you.
Bene. I ended the existing products, and I would like now to go into the more interesting topic, which is the new products that is, let's say, as introduced in the beginning, the mission of the company. So providing constantly new solutions to our partners and to our distributor. Split case line, the so-called, our name, we call this new baby PSC line. This is actually quite common pump also in the market, is not really new. But let's say that this range of products combined with our existing products and suctions, multi-stage horizontal and split cases really is providing a much more complete and much more comprehensive range of solutions. What are the features of this range? Well, first of all, the range is quite extensive. We start from size 65. This is one of the smallest. And we range up to 600 millimeter delivery flange. So think about 24 inch of delivery flange. The material availability is the same concept of all the other range family. So cast iron, 316 and duplex. And the flow availability here is much wider than what is our existing product. We can reach up to 6,000 cubic. So tremendous flow. What is the few features, say the key feature of this line, of this product actually? I would say that by far the key feature of this pump is the balanced impeller. Why the impeller is balanced? Because we have a special configuration you can see on the drawing, on the upper drawing. We have a special impeller design with double suction. By this design, actually the rotation of the impeller is auto-balanced. So the pump shaft doesn't produce thrust, so it's self-balanced. So the bearings, no need to be heavy duty, no need to stand high forced, and then we can have a very smooth operations, no vibration, no noise, and long life. That is the key feature. Second key feature is the efficiency. You realize that the volute case of this pump is very sophisticated. Why? Because it is having a split areas. So the suction is made of 2 channels. This special configuration avoid turbulence in the suctions and delivery. What does means less turbulence? Meaning high efficiency. Okay. In fact, this range normally has efficiency above 80%. We can reach up to 87, 86% of hydraulic efficiency, which rarely you can reach with the multi-stage and suctions pump in the market. We have our strong basement. Here we have a small motor size, but in the big size of motor, all our range are provided by this bolt pusher on the foot of the motor. Those devices are provided when the motor have a power size above 75 kilowatts, and these are vitals in order to move precisely the motor, in order to put and set the alignment of pump and motor precisely, in order to avoid any small vibration during the operation. So those devices are available on all our multi-stage as well as in the split case line. Other feature of this line is available on horizontal, classic execution like this one. So base frame, coupling, motor and motor B3 versions, and horizontal pump. Can be, you can see in the picture that you can see in back to me in the main screen. We have the inline executions with the vertical V1B motor executions. This is a very compact design and let you to install the vertical frame motor. Execution available 2, 4, 6 poles. Performance coverage, we have 2, 4, and 6 pole speed, and we can reach up to 6,000 cubic meter flow. That's why, as I mentioned, this range is very complementary to all what we saw till now. So this is completing the offer to our basket, and then providing really new potential business opportunity to our clients and distributors. Applications, I just mentioned a few words on the key applications. First application, ideal application is HVAC. Why HVAC? HVAC is heating ventilation. So especially on the Middle East, you have the chiller application, so the cooling system, which needs to have the pump rotating 24 hours per day, 365 days per year, so never stopping. And in order to have this kind of application, you need to have a low noise, low vibrations, and long life. Nothing else better than a split case, because it has no thrust in the shaft, no vibration because of the balance system, and very, very high efficiency, so energy saving solutions. Cooling tower, which is in a special application on HVAC. Municipality, water transfer, potable water, because of the large flow, we can, with one pump, you can feed the full city potable water. Agricultural irrigations, large flow. Firefighting, again, because whenever you need a big amount of flow to provide to extinguish, whenever you have an emergency, you don't have to be careful about the flow, but whatever you are able to pump, the better. Then the split case is an ideal solution. Let me now end my presentation of new products with a new Boreal line, the so-called L line. Actually, this is not really new. As you may know, and as you notice on our catalog, since 2 or 3 years, no, Pierpaolo, we launched
3 years.
3 years. We launched this line. But what we did now, since we got a very positive response from the market initially, you remember that we got a very good results on orders, on tenders, and so on. We decide then, based on the positive results of the demand, to further develop both the radial and the semi-axial models. So just to make a small refreshing, this line is built with precision casting technology. What that means? Means that by this type of casting, we can produce a very smooth surface of the blades, diffuser blades and the impeller blades. This means high efficiency because you have less drag into the van of impeller. Additionally to this, you have quite thick thickness, so the walls of the part are very thick, and then we have more reliability, more abrasion resistor, and more sturdiness on the pump. So you combine efficiency with sturdiness of the product. Well, what we did in order to upgrade this line is in the mixed flow line that you may see now some picture, which is actually not this but the other one. If you can switch back to the mixed flow, exactly that one. What we did actually, we designed a special shaft capable to handle much more diffuser, much more stages, in order that we were able to combine the high efficiency with the high pressure. That's why we got maximum pressure delivered to the pump over 55 bars and maximum power install of the motor of 400 kilowatts. In the drawing, you can see the very sophisticated configuration of the blades, which provide the very high efficiency. This configuration you can get only with the precision casting. With a standard casting, it's quite difficult to have this hydraulic design of impeller and diffuser. Well, if you move now in the screen back to radials. Well, in the radial, what we did in the radial type, which is actually this sample, we completely redesigned the pump. If on the semi-axial we just added more stages, on this pump we completely hydraulically redesigned the impeller and the diffuser. What was the main aim? The main aim was to increase sensibly the efficiency, because as you know, all radial pumps in the market are very poor in efficiency. So our aim was to be able to overcome to this gap in the market and to become one of the leaders on the efficiency on this line. And how we achieve this goal? We combine, as you can see in the picture number 3, we combine a radial impeller, which provides high pressure, with the semi-axial diffuser, which provides high efficiency. So we combined the two positive characteristics of the two different pumps, let's say. And with this combination, with this special design, we were able to achieve, think about, for the 6-inch range, we are able to achieve 77% of hydraulic efficiency. Practically, if you look in the market, you can count in one hand the competitor which can offer this. Same in the 8-inch. Well, here you have a cut view of the pump, which is showing you the radial flow of the impeller, the mixed flow of the impeller. But what I want to stress your attention is on the fixing system. As you know, all the radial impeller are fixed by tires or by external leaf. Here we have a very, very new system. We have a double thread reverse system. So each stage is screw each other in the reverse thread in order to avoid that once the motor starts, you have any losing, okay? So by this special threading system, we got a very easy assembling, which provide you very easy maintenance. And additionally, we got a very great static performance. As you know, we are testing all these pumps in our assembling up to 100 bars, because as I told you, this pump is going to operate up above 70 bars, so we need to be much higher in order to stay on the safety side of the mechanical strength. Coverage. You realize that we have a unique coverage. I would say in the market you will not find a 6-inch range so well covered. In the shut-off pressure we can reach above 75 bars. So meaning you can dig your pump down to 700 meters. So which is a requirement coming more and more in the Middle East on the Ely area, where the water table is sinking more and more because of the needs of drinking water. 8-inch, very, very wide availability of models. From radial, we have 4 models of 4 families of radial design, and other 5 models of semi-axial, giving you a coverage, again, unique in the market, really unique in the market, combining with the great efficiency that I was mentioning before. 10, 12, and 14-inch is our bigger brothers of products, which provide you a maximum flow of 850 cubic of flow, and shut-off pressure reaching 80 bars, maximum power install 400 kilowatts. So we can provide you even 10 and 12-inch motor with this power size. Ending with the applications, of course, borehole is nothing less than deep well application. So whatever it is, water distributions, in case of municipal system is sucking the water from downground, any agricultural irrigations, pivot irrigations, any ground or deep well water handling, landscaping, but also let me tell you, thanks to the materials that we have in this line, stainless steel duplex, this pump we already sold many units to reverse osmosis as intake units. So whenever you have the reverse osmosis plant close by the sea, they need an intake pump immersed in the sea. So this pump is ideal on this application. Well, Pierpaolo, I'm in the end of this presentation. If you received some question, or if you have some question, I'm really happy to answer.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Gianpaolo, for your nice presentation. Yeah, we received a couple of questions. They are asking if we have a pump selector for the full range of products that
Yes.
Pentax offers.
Yeah. You can, as maybe some of you already digit and enter in our website, whatever, Marley, Forest, or Pentax, you can Google, you can enter into the pump selector that is online. And with pump selector, you can get all data sheet of the pump that you can see, except the split case because we are implementing this range, but the new borehole full line from 6 to 14 inches are available, and you can download the full hydraulic performance, cut view drawing, spare parts drawing, and so on. So it's very well completed package. So in our pump selector, please go in, register yourself, and you get all of the data sheet. Will come soon, data sheet for online of split case and vertical turbine.
Yeah, all this regarding the borehole pumps. They're asking, does it have the non-return valve, and in which cases you need to use a cooling sleeve?
Nice question. Well, all our borehole valves are provided by the non-return valve with the spring on the delivery. So on the top, inside, you will get a clappe, so-called clapped valve. So, but these do not let you to forget about the delivery pipe in case you have a very long pipe to reach the ground, in case the pump is installed 300 meters down. In between the piping is a very good professional approach to install non-return valve every 50 meters in order to avoid the water hammer once you shut off the valve at the delivery.
So
cooling sleeve, yes, a cooling sleeve, well, if the pump is installed in borehole in the proper size, no need of a cooling sleeve, because normally the well is one size bigger than the motor. So these provide a quite good flow of cooling, water cooling in the sleeve. But be careful in case the wells is a Roman well or are much bigger than the motor. So let's say if I have an 8-inch motor and 12-inch wells, so two sizes bigger, then I would suggest to provide the cooling sleeve on the motor. Additionally, whenever you install the borehole pump in a tank, whatever horizontally or vertically, always cooling sleeve have to be provided, because in the big tank there is no big movement of water along to the motor sleeve.
So it's more complicated. So they're asking, for the future, for the industrial line of pumps, will all pumps be supplied with IE3 motors?
Bravo, good question. Yes, I mean, the closed couple version, yes, because those are Pentax motor made in our factory. So we adopt the European standard according to this efficiency class. So all closed couple motors are according to this standard. In case of base frame or a B3 or B35 flange motor, which are normally supplied by our standard supplier of motor, Motive brand and Siemens brands, they are, of course, minimum EA3 class of efficiency.
Okay, so they are asking if which brands of pumps can we replace with Pentax, keeping the functionality and dimensions the same? It's difficult to do.
Well, with the very great and versatile products that we saw today, I just mentioned very in surface this, but I would say that there is no any pump in the market that we cannot replace in domestic, light industry, and heavy industry. Of course, if we go into really very sophisticated and very particular, customized heavy-duty application, then I could have some question or incapability to replace. But whenever we stay into standardized pump and suction, horizontal multi-stage, split case and bore all, I'm very confident there is no one unique application that will replace versus competitors.
Okay, thank you, Gianpaolo. Yeah, there are some other questions, but they need a bit more articulated reply. Don't worry, we will send you a reply by mail to these questions. Time is over, so there are no other questions.
Okay.
So I thank you for joining us today. I hope that you enjoyed our event and appreciated our efforts. We all hope that we'll be able to meet each other at least face-to-face in the near future, and wish you all the best, and ciao. Thank you very much.
Bye. See you.
Grazie a tutti per aver partecipato alla nostra iniziativa e a presto.